Welcome back to the deep dive. So if you've ever wrestled with fetching data in JavaScript or just sequencing things properly, managing that asynchronous time, well, it can feel like pure chaos sometimes. Our mission today, taming that chaos. We're diving into promises and async await.
Yeah, these are really the modern tools, the syntax we use to work with that event loop we talked about before. And at the heart of it really is the promise. Think of it like an IOU, a contract maybe, for a value you expect, but just not yet. It basically guarantees you'll get something back, either the result or an error, eventually.
A contract, I like that. So this contract, it starts off unsettled. It's
Yeah.
just waiting for the data. That's the pending state, right?
Exactly, pending.
Yeah.
Then, once the operation finishes, it moves. Two possible ways. If everything goes well, say your API call works, the promise becomes fulfilled. Or resolved, you hear both terms, and that success, that's what triggers your then method to run.
Okay. And the flip side, if things go wrong, network error.
Right. Then it hits the rejected state, and that triggers your .catch block.
And once it's fulfilled or rejected, that's it. The contract's done.
That's it, locked in. We call that settled. The promise state can never change after that point. What's really cool, though, is chaining. That .block, it doesn't just run your code, it returns a brand new promise right away that lets us string operations together one after another, sequentially. That's how we finally escaped. Well, call back hell.
Ah, right. Callback hell. So the big win with chaining is you can have just one catch at the very end, and it handles errors from any promise in that whole chain. That sounds much cleaner.
It simplifies things enormously, yeah. And just to be complete, there's also .finally, that's for cleanup. Like hiding a loading spinner, runs whether it succeeded or failed once it's settled.
Okay. Chaining helped, but reading like 5 thens in a row can still be a bit much for the brain. I guess that's where async await really comes in. Is it just about making it look nicer?
Well, it's partly aesthetic, sure. We call it syntactic sugar. It makes async code look synchronous. But it's more than just looks. You mark a function with async. That tells JavaScript, hey, this function will work with async operations and make sure its return value is wrapped in a promise.
Okay, async on the function. Then comes the magic word, await.
Yeah, await is the heavy hitter. You can only use it inside an async function, its main job. To pause the execution of that specific async function, just pauses it right there, until the promise you awaited is settled, fulfilled, or rejected. And crucially, it only pauses that one function, not your whole application. Keeps everything else running. Non-blocking.
Right, non-blocking. Okay, here's what I think is huge for developers. Error handling. Because it looks synchronous, we can go back to using good old try.catch blocks.
Regex. That's a massive advantage. You handle errors the same way you handle them in normal synchronous code. Much easier to reason about, easier to debug than having .catch methods tacked on everywhere.
It still makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, what about when you have like multiple things happening at once, not sequential? We've got tools for parallelism too, right? Starting with promise.all, the all or nothing one.
Yep, promise.all. Use this when you need results from, say, 5 different API calls before you can show anything. It kicks them all off in parallel. But here's the catch. It only resolves, it only succeeds, if every single one of those promises succeeds. If even one of them rejects, the whole promise.all rejects immediately, with the reason from that first failure.
Okay, so all means all must succeed. What about the other one? Promise.race. Sounds fast.
It is. Promise.race is for when you just need the fastest result. Like you hit 3 different servers for the same data, and you just take whichever one responds first. It settles, resolves, or rejects as soon as the very first promise in the array settles. First one across the finish line wins. You ignore the rest.
Got it. So wrapping this up for everyone listening, we've hit the 3 states of a promise pending, fulfilled, rejected. We talked about await pausing function execution, which is key. And these big differences between promise.all waiting for everything and promise.race just grabbing the fastest.
Yeah, and maybe the thought to leave you with is this. A promise is that contract for future data, right? So think about the user experience. What's the real impact when you choose? Do you make the user wait until all the data contracts are fulfilled with promise.all? Or do you build your UI to react faster using promise.race to get something on the screen based on the quickest response? That choice, it really shapes how responsive your application feels.